If you've started a successful side hustle, you probably at some point will want to take the leap and go full-time into self-employment. So the question is, how do you transition from a side hustle into a full-time business that can replace your income from your job?
What's up, guys? Hey, my name is Brian. I'm a small business owner, a real estate investor, and an avid side hustler. Welcome to my channel and to one of my income streams, my grocery store. Guys, leaving that regular, seemingly guaranteed paycheck for the rough waters of self-employment, that's a giant leap of faith. It's not a decision that you should ever take lightly. So if you're looking to make that decision anytime in the near future, please watch this video until the end. I definitely don't have all the answers, and even if I did, I couldn't put all of it into a 10-minute video. But I've been through this before, both successfully and unsuccessfully. So I'm sure there'll be at least one nugget of information in this video that can help you. So let's dig in. Number one, have a firm financial footing before making the leap. Because when you leave that regular paycheck, that's it. No more money comes in unless you go out and create it. And chances are you will not come out of the gate making the amount of money that you need to survive. So you really need to start with a financial plan. How much money does it take to live the lifestyle you're accustomed to? And how much will it take to operate your business? Once you've answered those two questions, you can determine how much income your business needs to generate in order for you to survive. Okay, so here's some simple business math, and I'm sure you already know this, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Revenue minus all expenses equals profit. Your pay comes from the profit. So I would suggest that you have 6 months worth of living expenses and operating expenses before you take the leap. Because if you don't, you'll likely end up back in your job before too long. And we don't want that. Number two, you need a plan or like a roadmap of sorts. Your roadmap needs to include a plan A, plan B, plan C, and most importantly, an exit strategy. This exit strategy is going to help you cut your losses and go back to a job before things get too bad. One of the questions that your plan needs to address is, how far are you willing to go before you retreat and go back to your job? I mean, that's a very important question, and it's one that you should have a predetermined answer for. It's kind of like going into a casino. You really need to know how much you're willing to lose before you turn around and walk out. You've got to know when to cut your losses. You should never take more cash into a casino than you're willing to lose. And it's the same way with business. You've got to know when to cut your losses, regroup, and get out. And one of the most important traits of an entrepreneur is flexibility. No, not that kind. Your successful business will probably look a little different than you imagine, but you've got to be willing to follow demand. For example, if you're out selling lawn mowing services, but you realize that people in your area really want full service landscaping, then you need to be flexible and willing to make those changes in your services, or the landscaping companies will take your lawn mowing jobs. And if your business explodes and you can't keep up, at what point do you add employees? In short, have a plan in place for every situation that you can imagine. I mean, you'll never think of everything, but having a head start on as many situations as possible will be beneficial. It's also important to think through these things before you're faced with them, because most of us make better decisions when we aren't bogged down with financial stress or a timeline. So make this roadmap before you get started, before you're slapped in the face with all of the problems and headaches of small business ownership. Number three, the moment you've always dreamed of, quitting your job. Once you have 6 months worth of living and operating funds on hand and a detailed plan to follow, it's time to walk into your boss's office and hand over that resignation.
That's it. I quit. Wait, I can't quit. I've got a family.
Unfortunately, I've already accepted your resignation.
But it's best not to burn a bridge. Depending on your relationship with your boss, it may be appropriate to tell them what you're planning to do. Let them know how scared you are and how big of a risk this is for your family. And if at all possible in your situation, try to leave the door open for you to return to your job if you need to. But again, never ever burn a bridge. You never know when you'll need to cross it again. Number four, launching your business. Now the real work begins. If you've been operating your side hustle for a while, you will have a decent foundation to start from, and that will help. Because now it's time to get serious, like your livelihood depends on it. Because it does. Taking it from a side hustle to a full-time business may be a little more difficult than you think. There are 3 aspects to most businesses. The first is sales, or generating a demand for your product or service. The second is labor, that is performing the service or making the product. The third is clerical. That includes invoicing and payroll and bill pay and goods and supplies purchasing. And each of these three areas require a completely different skill set. But as a new small business owner that can't afford employees, you're responsible for all of them. And most of us are not gifted with the natural ability to handle all of these things and do them well. For example, I am not a very organized person, so I do not need to be in charge of clerical duties. I will drop the ball on everything when it comes to clerical work. I'm just terrible at it. But I could probably sell a bag of ice to a dude living in Antarctica. And I'm also pretty handy and I don't mind physical labor. But clerical work, you put me in charge of managing your office and you'll fire me. For sure. And that brings us to another point. Self-awareness is one of the most important traits for an entrepreneur. You need to know what you're good at and what you're bad at and be honest with yourself. Because I promise you, you don't know everything and you are not the most capable person at what you do. So know your strengths and know your weaknesses. And when the time comes to hire employees, start by hiring people that are strong where you're weak. And once they've proven themselves in their area, listen to them. Trust them. You can still filter their ideas, but do not dismiss them. I mean, you hired them for their talent, so use it. And if it turns out that you were wrong about their talent, let them go. As a business owner, you've got to be slow to hire, but quick to fire. Nothing will cost you more money than an employee that isn't suited for the position they're in. And nothing will improve your business more than a good employee in the right position. So when you find good people, take care of them to the best of your ability. They are your biggest asset. So in short, and I keep saying this, but have your finances in order. You need 6 months of living and operating expenses on hand before you get started. Make a plan, outline your goals, and have predetermined solutions to any problems that you can imagine that might pop up. Do not burn bridges when you leave your job. You may need that job back, or at the very least, you may need that employer for a reference. Work hard, take pride in your job and your reputation. When the time is right, hire good people that echo your strong work ethic or that have a stronger one. Building a successful business is no easy task, and there are no real shortcuts. And this list is definitely not an all-encompassing guide on how to start a business. But if you'll take these tips to heart, it will at least slightly limit the risk associated with leaving your job and going full-time in your side hustle. Guys, we all have unique experiences and we can all learn something from each other. So please share your story below in the comments. I'd love to hear about your side hustle and your plans to take it to the next level. And hey, if you're still looking for the right side hustle for you, watch this video right here. I've run all of these ideas through my BS test, so they're totally legit ideas and there's some good information in there. Guys, I hope you found value in this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.